Okay, now, record your notes. Never, now guys, what I found from doing this, what I found was my students, I encourage them and highly recommend that they use their laptops in studying and preparing their notes and sending it to me electronically. You got the technology, you might as well use it. You're going to have to use it in college, you might as well start using it now. Okay, never take notes in complete sentences. I found out that my students, they don't know how to take notes with computers. The first time I gave them an assignment, they were all over the place. There was no uniformity, there was no structure. Everybody it was like a free-for-all. Everybody was doing something different. So I had to develop a section on computer note-taking skills. Okay, and what I found was you have to tell students how to take notes based on research. Okay, never take notes in complete sentences. Too wordy. Always use bullets when taking notes. Now remember, why are you taking notes? You've got to remember why you're doing this. Why are you studying and taking the notes? What's the reason why you're doing that? To help you what? Help you what?
Pass the test.
To help you get a better mark on the, not just pass it, help you get an A on that test. You're going in for the highest mark. Okay, that's why you're going to put your best effort in. Okay? That's why you're doing it. Okay? You're not doing it for anybody else. You're doing it for yourself. So you're always going to use bullets taking notes. I'm going to show you how to do that. The emphasis is on brevity, which means being brief, clarity, being clear, and organization. When you're taking notes, the emphasis is on brevity, briefness, clarity, being clear, and organization. You're only doing it for yourself. Those notes. Whatever works for you, works. Okay? Use editorial license. Verbatim is not necessary. Guys, what I found was students were taking notes verbatim out of the book. That's why they're so wordy. You gotta read the information from the book, you gotta put it in your own words. That's what we call take editorial license. You gotta take the information from the book, you're gonna translate it into a bullet. See, that's what improves your reading comprehension. The more you do it, okay? You got to be able to see the trees through the forest. This is where kids taking AP courses get frustrated. They take too many notes, and when they're done, they got as much notes as there is information in the book, and they don't know what's important and what's not. They've done all this work, and they can't see the trees through the forest. They took too many notes. Too wordy. This is where you got to practice. You got to practice translating information into single line bullets. That's where the practice comes in. Okay? Now, indentation is very important for several reasons, as you'll see. Computers provide more text attributing. Remember now, you got to make the information, you got to be able to see the trees through the forest. Okay? So how are you going to do that? If you do your notes in hand, by hand, with a pen or pencil, you know, all you can do is scratch it out and underline. That's it. What else you got for attributing? Maybe you can use a highlighter, but if you use a computer, you got different size, style, color, fonts. You got italicized words, you got boldface, you got highlighting, you got underscore, you got call-out boxes. See, you got more attributing with a computer to make things stand out so you can see the trees through the forest. That's why you got to use the technology. Make references to charts, pictures, and visuals, very important. Use heading questions to determine the importance, as we discussed. Follow recommended note-taking techniques. Okay? Now, very important. Now I'm going to go over with you some proper note-taking techniques. All right? Remember, the emphasis is on being brief, being clear, and being organized. Okay? Now, good note-taking techniques. We already said the emphasis is on saving keystrokes. You gotta know how to save keystroke. Now, you guys are good at that. You do texting. When you send texts, don't you send abbreviations, you save keystrokes? You gotta take that same mindset and you gotta apply it to your notes. You gotta look and see, how can I use less keystrokes without diminishing the clarity, the clearness of what I'm saying? Okay? Now, You need to see the trees through the forest. Never use complete sentences when taking notes. Always bulletize your notes. Now, I know I already said that, okay? But I put it in there, you know why? Because repetition is the mother of quality learning. Zig Ziglar, America's most beloved motivator. I saw him in person. He said it in person several times. Okay? Now, this is what we're looking for here. Now, use abbreviations, guys. Now, you see, I'm trying to light a fire under you to get your creative juices going. You gotta use your wits. Now, how can I save keystrokes? Well, I can save keystrokes by using these types of abbreviations. BT, by the way, be right back, talk to you later, laughing out loud, gotta go, I don't know and I don't care. Well, so you gotta continue to use stuff like that in your note taking, as long as it's clear, okay? Every time I use the equal sign, instead of the word equal, I say 5 keystrokes. Greater than, if I use this, it's 1 keystroke. If I write greater than, that's 12. So every time I use this instead of greater than, I'm saving 10 keystrokes. Same here. I'm saving keystrokes with the ampersand, the pound sign, the plus, 2, 4, so on and so forth. You've got to look for ways to save keystrokes when you take notes. Acronyms. You've got to use acronyms. I mean, every time I use DNA instead of writing out deoxyribonucleic acid, I save 20 keystrokes. If I use that term 10 times on one page, that's 200 keystrokes. You follow me on this? And if I'm using RNA on that same page, ribonucleic acid, I'm saving another 18 keystrokes. You've got to look for ways to save keystrokes because the emphasis is on brevity in your notes. Kids take too many notes, they get frustrated. When they're done, they can't see what's important. All right? Now this is what takes practice. ATP, adenosine triphosphate. Again, I'm using ATP. HIV, human immunodeficiency virus. Food and Drug Administration. And et cetera, and et cetera. You have to look at yourself, the topic that you're working on and so forth, and how can I use acronyms to save keystrokes? So you're using abbreviations, you're using acronyms. Now, mnemonic methods. These are like little methods to remember things, such as PEMDAS.
Here's the interruption.
You guys remember what PEMDAS was? Okay.
Beginning from A to Z.
The arithmetic operators. If you want to solve an algebraic equation correctly, you do what's in the parentheses first, then you do the exponentiation, then you do the multiplication, then you do the division, addition, subtraction. PEMDAS, right? Okay, PEMDAS. Right there. Look at all the keystrokes that saved you. When I was teaching science, I used to do the same thing. I had kings play chess on fine-grained sand. That's how I used to remember the order of classification in the biological system, the naming system for living things. Kingdom. Can't get up in front of a biology class and teach about classification if I don't understand the taxons within the classification system. Kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. But I taught myself a little story, kings play chess on fine-grained sand. I'll never get that confused. Same with this one over here when I was teaching earth science. Mary's velvet eyes make John stay up nights praying. That was a little story I taught myself, so that when I teach earth science, I'm teaching about the Milky Way galaxy and the order of the planets from the sun. I got Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. Mary's velvet eyes make John stay up nights praying. That's a mnemonic method. See, you have to look for those yourself in the notes that you're taking. If you've got a long string or a long list of things that you have to remember in a particular way, a particular order, you got to come up with a story that's going to help you remember those. You follow me on this? We're trying to get you to be creative in your note taking. I'm just giving you some examples. Now, use text attributing. highlighter, boldface, italics, underlining, font, size, style, color, call-out boxes. All keywords automatically go into your notes. This rule right here. All keywords automatically go into your notes, whether they answer the question or not. If it's a keyword, it goes into the notes. You got it? These are the rules for good note-taking. Use indentation effectively. Save space for visuals. Okay, I want to point that out. Most of my students, when I first tell them to study, they take notes. All the notes are out by the left-hand side. There's no indentation. You've got to use indentation because it shows you the subordination of topics. What's a subtopic to a major topic? It also leaves space in the marginalia so you can put notes, put diagrams in there. Okay? Use images, diagrams, pictures with your bullets. Okay? Now, so that's the R for recording. Recording. Read, record, now we do recite.